start going in the
Well, that's for you.
And that's why I say that secretary, that's what I always do. We got all these people, but it's, I'm having it again.
Me too.
Right.
Let's see, 11:15.
Put it where you want it.
I think it's gonna go where it wants to, not where I put it. Okay,
We have a flashing news bulletin. No, I just got the
oh,
bank balances, so to go back and read those for you. The Texas Community Bank checking account as of January 19th, $70,678.22. Credit card, $178,082.65. And the money market, $8,793.96. Bank and Trust, Los Morris, $1,367.30. The restricted fund has $369,779.23. General fund, $263,682.96. And then the historical, $474.90. Bank balances as of 1/19/21.
Well, I'm glad you're still here.
are you done?
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, I am.
Okay, I'm sorry, we got those late, bank was closed on Monday and so late. The day to run. Okay, the next on the agenda is considering approval of golf cart leasing and new golf rates.
I'm sorry, real quick, just for a note, I didn't have mine from last month. The money market didn't get their $100. So we need them.
Right.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, I was gonna look at that.
Oh, one other thing, Alan, if you talk to Randy, we did not get the breakdown in the restricted fund. Okay, onward. Okay, this is actually two different issues here. One are golf cart rates, and the others are replacing golf carts. We haven't considered golf course fee schedule changes for several years. And with Del Rio's course closing possibly permanently, unless they find somebody else to run it, we may be getting an inflow from over there. And periodically we should be reviewing rates for all of our businesses to make sure that they're competitive with current rates elsewhere. So Alan, if you want to go ahead and talk about the fee schedule first.
It'll be hard to explain everything, but the way I looked at it and the way I tried to adjust it is knowing that we have not increased rates in 5 years. And I tried to put it to the point that Fort Clark members have less of an increase as Fort Clark non-members. So basically, I look at the annual fee, and we always wanted to put it as a positive to have an annual fee rather than having monthly fee or quarterly fees. So, the annual fees have less of an increase. So basically, for a Fort Clark member, the increase would be roughly 12% for a single, 13% for a couple, which would be $670 to $750, $975 to $1,100. For non-members, we go up roughly 17% for a single, 23% for a couple, which would be $770 to $900 and $1,100 to $1,350. And I'm just gonna go ahead and say that, just keep the annual ones, because I've done it as far as breaking it down to semi-annual, quarterly, monthly. Monthlies would go up 33% and 30% for members, and 47%, 52% for non-members. The idea is to get them here for a longer period of time and for yearly memberships. Daily rates would go, they're currently 12, 15. Maybe y'all can tell me where I wrote that. Would go up 25%
That's for 18 holes.
for 18 holes. The non-members would go up from $22 to $25. Couples would go from $11 to $15 for daily rates. There's something wrong with that.
I think they swapped that.
I think that's swamped out a little bit different. But roughly a 14% and a 35% increase. You didn't catch this one?
No, I didn't.
No, I didn't either.
Doing math in my head will have to go.
I think on the daily rates for the,
Yeah.
I think the couple and the single got reversed.
I think I got the two different ones,
Yeah,
yes.
I think so too.
Question, for non-members, do you happen to know how many people for non-members pay annually and semi-annually?
I do not.
The only reason why I'm stating that is because I think the fort is kind of missing out on FRMs when it comes to golf, because people golf year-round. So if there's an incentive, it would be, I kind of want to keep the rates low for your members, but especially since Del Rio is closing down,
Right.
if we have them, that's an extra $480 for the whole association if they have a FRM.
FRM.
And then it's just not just going to the golf.
That's why I increased the non-member rates more than I did the member rates. Just-
FRMs are members.
It'll probably be a couple of years since you can't, because it looks like you're probably gonna need $13.50 to justify having a membership for non-members. But I'm just saying maybe in the future.
Oh, I think this is just a start. I'm just trying to get it even right now.
And Del Rio no longer has a golf course, and Uvalde is 40 miles even further, it's not 70 miles away. If you average membership fees of $1,100 and you play only twice a week, which most guys that buy a membership didn't play more than that, it's only $11 around. And you can't pay $11 around anywhere. So when we originally changed the rates 5 years ago, it was to encourage people to buy annual or semi-annual memberships, and non-members pay more, should be paying more than members.
But when I'm
So-
saying non-members, when they pay the annual, I would rather for the people that live here that don't play golf, because when you get a golfer that's not a non-member, they get access because it's all the way at the end of the fort, but if they're an actual member, the association as a whole will receive $480. That can kind of help the burden, because not everybody, because right now, a non-member, when they pay for a year, that just goes to golf course.
I think our key to getting the FRMs up is to get the rest of our amenities up and running better. And as well as just don't focus the membership on the FRMs and the golf. In other words, we have to have amenities at the pool. We
Right.
have to have amenities as far as restaurants, our adult center, fitness.
Well, we
room,
see an
things like
increase
that.
for the hunt, but the hunt's not year-round. So this is where we can, because golfing is
It's
year-round.
all over, yeah, it's everything as far as one package. That's going to be the key for us to get more FRMs. I think we have to get a full, all of our amenities up and running, and that's going to happen. We can't focus it just on golf.
And not only that, the annual, semi-annual, quarterly memberships, we thought about getting rid of monthlies, but they're valuable for people who only stay.
Right, for
with
the
us
winter
for a
taxes,
month.
yeah.
And I can read my form now better, I now understand what I.
Yeah, but,
The daily membership right now, or the daily rate right now for a member's 12, and we're just asking to go up to 15. It's 6 for 9 holes up to 8. For non-members, it's 22 now, and we want to go up to 25, and 11 to 15 on the cup. You know, as far as, it should be 9 hole, not the cup.
Yeah, it's 18 and 9
Yeah.
instead of singles
It
and
should have
couples.
been,
that's right.
yeah.
And not everybody there pays a membership fee. The guys from Del Rio are paying daily rates, and that's where we make our money, is on daily rates. So the membership fee may give you money right up front, but the daily rates are gonna bring in more money because we charge more with daily rates. And believe me, $25 for a single is definitely cheap for a golf course.
In what I was mainly looking at the annual and semi-annual, because other than that, the winter Texans, they only want to do it for quarterly or monthly. It would be, I was
Right.
just curious how many people are, non-members are actually paying.
So I see where you're going with it. I think
It
the
depends on the
issue
number.
is, yeah, our pricing right now is so reasonable that they can pay $1,100 a year for their membership, and then on top of that, pay $1,100 for the golf club membership, or they can just pay a total of $1,350 for the golf club membership and save themselves $900. So I don't think, yeah, we're not gonna get FRMs out of.
Well, not the way that this is set up. Like I said, it's gonna take a couple of years, because the 1350 is gonna have to be put on a single. Because if you take the 750 plus 480, that's 1250.
Yeah,
So
but
for you
what I'm
to,
saying, it's not likely
So then-
anytime in the near future that we're gonna raise non-member pricing $1,100 over member pricing to justify
No,
FRM.
no.
So, I mean, it kinda is what it is.
No, I mean, what we're trying to do here is annual memberships are cheaper because you're paying all your money up front, right? And we're hoping to get some annual memberships from the Del Rio golfers, who golf a lot. But people who do not golf very much, who maybe only golf 3 or 4 times a month, are not gonna buy a membership. They're gonna pay a daily rate. My husband and I, we buy an annual membership and 1 cart trail fee. And we can golf as much as we want, because we've paid up front. So,
right, it was kind of like what we kind of did with the hunt this year. It was very beneficial for people that are members, and that's why I want to keep the golf rates really reasonable for people that live here that are members. But like I said, right now, it'd be too much of a jump, I agree. But I think that in the future, if our rates are pretty low, that we pretty much put more of the burden on the non-members versus the members.
we are, there is,
Each, when we go forward.
Yeah.
there is a greater burden on the non-members with this new schedule. Now, I was on the board 5 years ago when we passed this, and we got pushback from our members who don't ever want our rates to go up. But the golf course operates at a loss, and almost all golf courses operate at a loss, unless they're some of the high-end courses, and even some of those operate at a loss. City courses have city budgets to cover for losses. Gives us more money in the budget to do more things on the golf course. We haven't done anything in 5 years to do, you know what the rates are at Uvalde for the daily rates?
I don't have that written.
Okay,
It
the
was,
last,
it was a lot more than that.
yeah, it's a few dollars more than us. And you're saving money, not driving back and forth 30 miles and 40 miles to the other golf courses. But we have to keep up with what's going on locally around us, and 5 years is a long time not to review the golf course fee schedule. FRMs are considered members, and if they choose to, if they're golfers, they have the same benefits as other members do. And so it's up to them to determine whether they golf enough to make this worthwhile. But like I said, if you only golf twice a week, that $1,100, that's only $11 every time you golf. And most of these people, Dick for one, and a lot of other people may golf 3, 4, 5 times a week. So you're paying, you know, like $2 every time, you know, per round of golf, which is incredibly inexpensive. And another thing being is if you paid a membership for a year at any of the other golf courses, you're gonna be paying anywhere from 3 to 5 times that much for golf privileges. To be able to walk on the course, check in and golf. So I think non-members, they're significantly higher than our FCSA member charges. They should be. Again, most people don't golf that much, they're gonna use the daily rates. And that's, you know, you're talking about $25 versus 15 for a daily rate, $10 less for a member. So, and being a golfer, my husband and I like to support the golf course. And we find it's a bargain to buy an annual membership. The semi-annuals are for people that stay 6 months in the RV park. And the quarterlies are those, again, mostly for RV, and the monthly for motel and RV members that wanted to buy FRMs. So, and I was a little confused about what you were trying to say, Rihanna, and I guess it's just me, about the non-members. Because they're being charged significantly.
No, the ones that are, but just the annual and semi-annual.
The increase I did with the non-members is basically 20% over the members' price.
Right.
Now, we can go higher than that.
But-
I just said.
But not
20%.
right to not, I like how this is, but I'm just saying in the future, instead of, because you said it hasn't changed in 5 years for
That's true.
members. So in the future,
Anyway.
maybe each do an annual increase on the non-member. So eventually, it will be more beneficial for a non-member to actually become a member, like an FRM. But eventually, right now, this is too much of a hike.
But, yeah, I mean, raising the rates to that level is gonna be a minimum of $1,100 a year for non-members. And
Well,
that's gonna run so many people out of golf.
And it may be
Members.
used, like I said, without knowing how many people we actually pay annual and semi-annual, the non-members. It may only be like one person, and then all this is, we're not worth it. So without knowing
Yeah.
that number,
And we also do sales and special events. I can tell you, 5 years ago, we had, unfortunately, some of our long-term golfers are no longer with us over the last 5 years. But if memory serves me, out of probably 14 memberships, of those 14 memberships, non-members were 2.
right, something like that.
So, I don't think that's the issue so much as the daily rates are adequate for us for non-members. So, now, and they would also affect RV park and motel that choose not to buy an FRM. And usually those people, again, don't golf often enough to make it worthwhile. Okay.
Well, RVers get a pretty good discount with an FRM though.
Yeah, it's because they have an FRM. They're buying the FRM, which
That's
is,
what,
yeah.
the goal, yeah.
So we'd love to have people, our memberships, but, you know, there's a significant difference here. And not only that, they're non-members. This is highly competitive with other courses around here for non-members. And that's what we need to be. So,
So we're gonna do this in 2 parts, or we're gonna do like the rates and then the leasing? Okay.
Dustin, anything else?
No, ma'am.
Really? Bill?
No, I'm good.
Okay, audience. Dick?
A couple of comments. Number one, remember, people bring money. So be careful, don't drive the people away. And number two, there is more money to be made in the golf course than just the green fees, but you've got to have something in there they can buy. This is probably the lousiest pro shop I've ever seen. Seriously, now, we used to have a gentleman here that managed the one over at the air base. He said, look, I'll buy stuff with me. I can help you get inventory in here. Well, the Fort turned them down. Now, I realize we've tried on past occasions to do this, but we need a pro shop that's got something else to sell besides golf. So, I mean, you're making steps in the right direction. I agree with all of them. But take a look at what else we can offer here. That pro shop should be launched in the front with a bar open, with a hamburger, some french fries, and people that understand this is a part of their job description. And if this minimum wage crap goes up to $15 an hour, we're gonna really have some problems.
We'll be recruiting more volunteers.
And actually, to answer your question, is Mr. Peterson is working on moving the pro shop to the front area where we will have room for food, for merchandise, and we'll be able to see the #1 tee box to control people leaving there. So,
If we made it $15 an hour, Mr. Peterson's office might have to be there too.
okay, any other comments? Nick Ebert is a golfer, so he knows well what I talk about. He was involved in helping us 5 years ago with the rates as
If
well.
my shoulder gets back in shape.
Okay, any more comments from the board, from the audience? Okay, do we have a motion to approve or to table or whatever?
I'm assuming while we're doing this before we kind of need this increase too, to be able to afford the second half of what we're gonna be voting on.
That would help.
So I'm thinking, I mean, I know that we haven't quite got to the leasing or whatever, but before people start throwing tomatoes and stuff at us, we do have to figure out a way that we're gonna pay for new carts if we decide to go that
Yeah,
way.
this is a different issue. This puts money in the kitty for lots of things, for moving the pro shop up front to the larger area. We have to give us some other storage and so forth, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is the same agenda item, so should we just get into it
Yeah, I
and
was
kind
gonna
of do
say.
them?
Well, let's do,
I
otherwise we're gonna have to bifurcate if we wanna vote on one and not the other, so that's why I'm doing it one at a time.
have a question. If we approve the rate increase, it becomes effective,
Not until we have new cards.
Not until we have new
okay,
cards.
well,
Well,
that's,
no, the problem is when, does everyone pay their trail fees and everything at the same time each year, kind of like our dues, because if,
It won't go up to the people who have already paid. I mean, they'll be-
or will there be some kind of proration?
We can prorate it if they come in.
When we answer the next question, then we can set a date. Members have paid at different times. I pay 1st of October for the year, for instance. So,
So pay for it.
yeah, so it would, that we
States
can,
Day would probably start February 1st.
Yes.
I would say, or pretty much immediately.
And if someone's already paid it, will you just send an extra invoice?
I just think it would go to the next year. We've
Yeah.
already
They've already
contracted for that
paid.
We've
amount.
already-
yeah, that was the reason I was asking for a date, just to be effective.
I would say as soon as y'all say, because if we don't, I give them 2 weeks, everybody's gonna rush out and pay it.
and, yeah, and we will publicize a start date on that and everything.
Okay.
Okay, so do we
And that's
have a motion?
Questions?
Do we have a motion to
We got a
approve?
question.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kathy, I
No,
didn't see you.
Hi.
This is
Actually,
Kathy
my
Moore.
name again, Kathleen Moore. Okay, so Wally and I normally pay for 6 months, and this year we paid for a whole year because we're here. And I probably missed what Bill said, but if that being the case, will ours take effective when our annual membership is up?
Yes,
Yes.
and
Oh,
renew
okay.
for next time.
Okay,
So you went ahead and paid for the full year?
yeah, we did this year. Usually we
So
pay
then
for
you,
6
the
months.
way they're saying, since it sounds like we're not doing proration, you're good until the following.
Right.
And then we'll get a notice
And then
saying
you'll
yada
get the
yada.
new rate.
Okay, thank you.
Right, because people who paid up front with that expectation, the whole year would be that way, so they're basically under kind of contract, so, yes.
Sandy, we're trying really hard. I think we're down to $1.50 around now.
Yeah.
Use it up.
Yes. One more.
Yeah, one more comment, if you're buying new carts, I would think that the rental fees should be more than enough to pay for those. And there's nothing more frustrating for a golfer than to rent a cart and have it break down halfway around the golf course, so they have to.
Okay, we're gonna get into that in the next
Yeah,
one.
that's
Oh, I
it.
thought that was part of your problem.
I
Don't take our thunder.
we have to, just in case one or the other, you know? Okay, do we have a motion to approve the new fee schedule?
So I move to approve the new fee schedule effective on an approval vote. Those who have already paid for the year will be grandfathered in at the current rate. And those who will pay after this vote is taken, if approved, will be subject to the new scheduled fees.
Do we have a second?
As of today.
Do we have a second?
Second,
Okay, all those in favor? That's 4 voting in favor, 1 absent. Now we can get to the next one.
You wanna read the issues with the cards?
I would love to.
Okay.
I spend a lot of time at the golf course, and yes, these are absolutely true. We have some,
We have 7 that work now.
yeah, we have 7, should have 12. The carts are held together with bungee cords and zip ties. These carts are very, very old. Every day we have at least 5 carts with flat tires, and they do not come every day to fix them. Part of that is the thorny problem we have out here. We have a 90-degree rule, which means you use the trails, cart paths, turn 90 degrees or 45 degrees to your ball back onto the cart path. When you go off when you hit your ball out into the wilderness area out there, we have thorn problems. New tires are a lot easier to fix. Put that green gooey stuff in, and they'll last a long time. But when they get worn, doesn't matter. Cart number 2 has been broken for a while now, won't go forward or backward. The part has said to have been ordered last month, a month and a half ago, still don't have it. Cart number 12, golf bag holder, has been broken for months, and we were told the part was ordered months ago and still not fixed. Charger number 4 is broken, gone for most of the year and still not fixed. Charger, you can't charge the cart. At least 4 or 5 of our carts will not make the whole 18 holes, and a couple of them will barely make 9 holes. Had a customer bring us a windshield that fell off the cart. That's embarrassing. Domingo's had cart number 4 for months. He's got it running, but it's necessary for him to use as a golf maintenance cart. They are literally falling apart. I can't,
That was 2 months ago.
Yeah, that was-
So it's worse now.
a couple of months ago. We have been using baling wire and duct tape on these carts for years. I've been here 10. They're at least that old. However, because we are on a small course and a lot of our members have their own carts, they're not used as often as some of the municipal courses. So whether we buy or lease carts, they should last a lot longer than they would elsewhere. So Alan has done a lot of research on this issue, so I'm going to turn it over to him.
Okay, we have quotes from 2 companies. We asked for 3. Yamaha never came back with us as far as their carts. So Club Cart and Mission Golf Easy Cart were the 2 that gave us firm quotes. We looked at strictly leasing, since we didn't think buying was our options. Club Cart has a lease purchase for 54 months with a $32.50 buyout at the end of 54 months, which came out overall would be roughly $90,000 for the carts after 54 months if we wanted to buy them. Mission gave us 2. One was with the LED, or the $1 buyout, which was $13.06, and this is for 12 carts. $13.06.32, in other words, $108 per cart per month, with a buyout of $12 after 48 months, which would have been a total cost purchase price of $62,715. The other one was just a straight lease, where they switch them out after 48 months, which would have been $988.80. So basically, $15,000 less over 4 months, but then you don't have anything for it. And because of the fact our carts will not receive the volume that, we should have a pretty good cart left over after 4 years. So therefore, I recommend doing the $1 buyout with Mission, the Easy Go carts.
On the Club Car, where they give you the $32.50, would they take our crappy Easy Goes? And then, because,
Oh, both of them will do that.
well, I don't know if Mission, since they're only doing a $1 buyout,
They'll still take, okay.
or what do we want to do with our old ones?
Get them off the property, so I treat everything else I have, as long as they go over the bridge, I don't care. We have 3 or 4 that we will probably keep for use in our other areas to work with, but only the ones that are good. The rest of them are scrap. I mean, they're not worth anything, they're not worth us keeping up with.
No, but if Club Car would give us $32.50 for our scrap.
No.
Not gonna happen.
No.
Because the other one says that we're gonna get $1 buyout, so it's like,
No.
Scrap means
The
scrap.
buyout is, at
At
the
the
end of this
the
lease, we
yeah.
buy them for $1.
right,
Right,
but I'm just saying if we, because we don't wanna keep these.
All 12 carts aren't worth $3,200,
no,
Yeah.
not even close.
they're
It
not.
must be.
The only thing in them worth anything are the batteries, because we did buy new batteries for 2 of them. And we'll make sure we keep anything that's good.
Batteries are expensive,
Yeah.
$1,200 to $1,200 for.
I think you gave us great worksheets.
I'm
Yes.
surprised Yamaha didn't come back with anything, but they didn't. follow.
With the Easy Go Mission Golf on the lease program, they take care of problems with the leased carts?
It's if you, like you lease a car, you
Okay.
take care of it yourself.
Okay.
Well, and what's also good is, since we already have Easy Go, we already have a bunch of chargers.
Right.
So if we stick with
It's a
Easy Go.
different, these are lithium batteries,
Oh.
so it's gonna be different, but we will need, our chargers are not that good.
We can keep those,
Trying to look at the brighter
we can keep
picture.
those for the carts that we keep.
Yeah.
Dustin?
No, I like it. I like I like his recommendation. You know, at 4 years, we've still got good carts. We drop off $1,300 a month after 4 years, so that gives us a lot of money to buy batteries and tires and any other,
And we're bringing in
Maintenance.
around 1,100, 1,200 a month anyway.
right.
All right, so, you know, we should be able to
Yeah.
cover that.
So, yeah, I mean, 4 years of getting used to a $1,300 lease payment, when that falls off, that gives us quite a bit of money for maintenance, you know, to keep up with it.
Well, and it's kind of perfect timing now that Del Rio's out. So if we do pick up
That's the
golfers.
Yes.
whole thing.
Yeah, and to be truthful, these carts get used a lot, but half of the membership of this fort has golf carts that get used every single day, and a great many of them are 15, 18, 20, 25 years old and still run. So, I mean, maintenance is key to them. They'll run if you take care of
Yeah,
them.
we take care of ours.
Does this
It's 15
include
years old.
chargers too?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
chargers come with carts.
Okay, well, I wanna
The
make
carts
sure
come with
that,
chargers.
I think our carts are over 20 years old.
I think, well, they're at least 10, because they were old when I got here 10 years ago, so. Dustin, anything else?
I have nothing else.
Rhiannon?
no, I'm fine.
Okay.
Get her done.
Get her done. Okay, can we have a motion upon, excuse me, have a motion describing which particular proposal you would like to accept?
Sure. I will move that we approve the recommendation, member
sorry.
comments.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I have two quick questions, kind of, sort of, okay? Obviously, we're gonna get new carts. Will that raise the rental on the carts, which it should?
They were on the,
Yeah, it were
Yeah,
on
we
the rate.
approved it on the rate.
It was on the
Yeah.
rate.
Oh, I missed that, I didn't know it was in the rental.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did
So-
just membership,
And
okay.
so are
Let me go back
trail
over
fees.
it.
Right, and then the other question is, do you think they'll be here before the tournament in March?
yes,
Cool, thank you.
Yes. So just for clarification on the cart rentals, we approved an increase on cart rentals for one rider for 18 holes, goes up from $10 to 20. The second rider remains at $10 for 9 holes. Pricing stays the same, except we've added $5 for the second rider. And as far as private carts, the 18 holes goes up from $6 to $7, and 9 holes from 3 to 4.
Okay, yeah, I must have missed that earlier.
We didn't mention
I
it.
don't think we mentioned it.
And annual trail fees for membership purposes, one cart goes from 2 to 220 per year, and second cart, 1 to 110.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir.
Any of that money gonna go into the cart pass?
That's a whole other issue.
They
That's a
all-
very,
Just
very
thought I'd
expensive.
toss it out
Yeah,
there.
I know, it's a very expensive issue. Okay,
I mean,
yeah, we're working on it.
Number
it
3?
it will keep the cart pass being used.
Yes.
I'm not sure if there's an analogy to this, but Dave Ramsey would say that leasing is the worst thing we can do. Now, it's a golf cart, it's not a car. So has it been looked into, it would be cheaper to buy a bulk amount of vehicles and just pay from up front?
We can't afford that without, I mean, like I said, we have the dollar buyout, so we're pretty much.
You're looking at $6,000 a car,
So that'd be 12 cards or 5 cards or 10 cards?
12.
12.
And we do 10?
No,
Well, yeah, I mean,
We can't.
here to buy.
We can
12
do a lot of things.
Yeah.
Whether it makes sense or not, no, I don't think so.
and that's a big cash outlay. And a big interest rate if we try to spread that out.
And, well, too, I mean, since we're leasing the first 48 months, there is some type of warranty.
Yeah.
So if we just did a straight buyout, there would probably be no really.
Oh, there's a warranty.
Well, they come with warranties, but it's,
Fiscally,
yeah, I mean, if we paid them, what,
6.
could we maybe get a new one for $6,000? That's 72,000 bucks just to buy them. And we're paying a total of 62,007 to own them at the end of 4 years.
If we had the money, I would say buy it, but we don't
Right.
have the money.
Right.
We're not in a position to sit there and go, okay, let's go ahead and spend $70,000.
Right.
But we're also not in a position of, we have to do something. So therefore, there is a reason that it's provided like that.
And at the end of 4 years, if we have bukus of money, we can go out and buy new ones.
Then we can buy, yeah.
Yeah.
We need it, right.
This is a stopgap. It's not kicking the can down the road. It is sort of solving the problem, but it is giving us, it's basically leveraging for time.
Which is why a lot of people lease, is because it's less expensive on the short run.
Yeah.
But as Dustin pointed out, at $6,000 without tax, times 12 cards, talking about $72,000 when we would be paying under the lease buyout program, $62,000, $10,000 less if we lease them than if we buy them outright. So there is a savings there. Okay,
Okay, that's 3.
anybody else? That's 3. Okay, Dustin.
Any more comments from the board?
One question,
Go ahead.
effective immediately, if we vote on it? I mean, can you get the copy?
Yeah,
That's
as soon as
what-
they can get them here.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
that-
far, rates are gonna be changing, so we need to tell the pro shop, and then carts will be ordered.
Yeah, well,
Cash will follow up and we'll do it as soon as we walk out of here.
And then it depends on when they can deliver.
Okay, I move to approve the GM's proposal from Mission Golf Cart to lease 12 golf carts for a term of 48 months with the option to buy all 12 carts for $1 apiece at the end of the 48-month lease.
second,
First and a second, those approving, raise your hands. Okay, all 4, less the absent party. Okay. Okay, we have consideration for approval of a new Xerox copy machines. Ours are getting pretty much toast. As we approached this earlier, but we weren't pleased with what Xerox was willing to do for us. So Mr. Peterson has been in contact on both a standard black and white and a color printer. So Mr. Peterson, it's all yours.
Xerox been approaching because they've had a lot of downtime on our copiers for since I've been here, so 5 months. And the quotes they've been giving us have really not increased our product any. They've basically given us products that are inferior to what we have for about the same price. These are both products that are relatively an upgrade from what we have, especially with the IT aspect and the way we can communicate with them, as well as an even pretty much what we're paying now. I think it's $67 a year or less than what we're paying now. So we're basically getting an upgraded piece of equipment. They don't have to come out here and fix our stuff every week like they have been doing. So it's got to the point that they would rather give us better equipment and than have to come out here all the time. One of our issues is the fact that we do a lot of color copying, which after watching it isn't necessary, so we're gonna save some money after that also, because it's automatic. The machine we have automatically defaulted to whatever was copying, instead of having to put in there straight black and white. So we've had a few expenses there that will go away. But it's pretty much it's a wash. We just get better equipment for the same price and they get an extended price.
Would you discuss the equipment itself, please?
I'm not a tech.
How about the cost of the equipment then?
I don't have my glasses.
Well, I kind
It's
of,
too small.
well, in April,
You want to try
I mean, in
this?
August, we addressed this right before Mr. Pearson came on.
Different stuff.
So what our problem, because it was supposed to expire in 2022.
Right.
But I think after you talked to them, since it had been renewing, I don't think we're in breach of a contract.
No, we're not, this is not breaching any contract, it's just continuing over. Sorry, I've got, one of them is roughly 253, the current one that they're proposing is 247 for that. So it's a little bit better copier, but the same product. The other one is 255.94, and we will be paying 251.
Yeah, 252, well, 252 basically.
And as far as what they are able to do, they're pretty much set. It's a 60-month lease, so it'll continue on. So it basically goes 3 more years than what we already have. The speeds are identical. The biggest thing in there is the control and the way it can communicate with outside sources. In other words, you can basically do it from your phone.
Oh, it's Wi-Fi.
Yeah, you get a little bit more. So that's the issue there.
Well, and then like Dustin, his other one was just like the fine print about that's non-cancelable, but you didn't, at that time, you didn't have a chance to kind of read it, but so you're comfortable.
Yeah, they're all that way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not even gonna change.
I just wanted to go back and check our minutes.
My biggest issue is that we're getting a better product for this, pretty much the same amount of money or
How many machines?
whatever it is. Just two.
Okay.
That's all we have now, too.
I know, I just want to make sure that.
The big thing is the Xerox app gallery, and that's what gives you the ability to communicate with some of the other handheld stuff.
Well, and this might help, this will hopefully help eliminate a lot of the individual
No,
printers, because how much are we spending on cartridges and all that kind of stuff?
a lot cheaper than what those are. Those are not costing us anything.
Okay.
And those desk copies, or desk copiers are on desks that must have secure copiers, like human resources.
Well, human resources and executive officers used to have complete control of the color copier on there, and then everyone else
Yeah,
was
but then
kind of
everybody,
over
then you
here.
have to run over there and get your leads.
Well, that's where their offices were.
Yeah, that's different now, and not only that, anything to do with people who have financials to run and so forth, so. The desk copies are there because of the need for printing confidential information. We don't want to have to run over to where the big copier is to pull off something to do with confidential information.
I do a lot of copies. I have not changed Homer since I've been here. So it's not an issue, but
It shows a projected savings of $10.02 a month, monthly savings after reduced color copies of $67.15. We won't really know that until we find out what our needs are, but it's not gonna cost us any more than they're already paying. So, Dustin, comments?
How old is the equipment that we have now?
Oh,
4 years?
no, I worked here in 2012 and they're the same ones.
Oh, are they really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Jody had gotten that, yeah, so we went way past our 5-year.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of my thing. We're looking at $30,000 over the 5-year contract for these 2 machines.
Yeah.
So what would it cost just to purchase these machines? Are they $4,000 a piece, $8,000 a piece, $12,000 a piece? And if they are they offering significantly more capability than we actually need?
Well, they
When you get the copiers, it's not really a fact of purchasing or anything, it's who do you have to fix them.
Right.
Exactly right.
It's strictly service.
Mhm.
In other words, you're buying, with the lease, you're buying service. Because if you buy them,
And
then you have to
believe
find
we're still
someone.
in bracket
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was
They're
going,
coming,
it was
to these guys are coming 40 miles, I don't know where they're at.
I know we, actually, one
San
had a
Antonio.
car accident and died, trying to come service. Wow, yeah, so he was really nice.
Yeah, and if you buy these copiers, then you have to find someone to fix them.
Service.
Then you've not only paid for the copier, but you're gonna pay for the service.
Yeah, I've been dealing with, this is just one of those necessary evils that you just don't have much choice.
Well, this and maybe even the postage machines, like you're gonna have to start mailing out all of those.
You don't have a postage.
I know, and we just, when we paid money to kind of get,
I have to
To
see
get
how
out of
much
them.
postage we're doing first before I recommend that. Those can be handy, they can also be very expensive.
Yeah, this
You can
book,
also get postage by mail a lot, and you actually do your own online stuff, so that's something we need to look at before we go there.
Dustin, anything
Yeah,
else?
no, I mean, I have no
Yeah,
idea what
anything
these
for-
cost to buy, but
Depending what
it's
they are,
your
but
house, so if
I
you,
would
if this
never-
is your
I would
proposal,
never buy a copier unless it's just the laser jets we have on our desk.
with these big copiers with all of the Wi-Fi, $4,000 or $5,000 is probably a third of what they cost.
you know, well, I'm just looking at the capability of this machine and it seems to me like it is capable of producing a whole lot more than what we actually need to do with it.
I don't know, we run a lot of stuff through it.
well, they're nice too, because you can actually email from the copy machines.
Yeah.
And
And we do a lot of that,
A lot of that.
scan.
not as much as I'm used to.
Okay,
I have nothing else.
okay, do you have anything else, Brianna? Bill,
No, I'm fine.
the silent one?
Yeah.
Okay, anything from the membership?
Is it gonna be one or two copiers?
Two.
Replace the two we have.
There's,
Would it be more cost efficient just to buy one, just get one?
Yeah, well,
Just need one right here.
no, not really.
I'm not gonna have one office over here running over here to get work done, and this office over here to get work done. We have two main offices as far as that basically need.
and when they start printing, we use both, whenever you start printing out for the election ballots and like the candidate sheets, they will be humming, and same with common
But
property.
everybody has an individual printer on their desk,
No,
right?
they don't.
They
No,
don't?
No,
No, as we just described, the only people with individuals, printers on their desks are those that print confidential documents. Human Resources, Mr. Peterson's desk, Cindy at accounting when she's printing.
well, she has a copy machine right next to her.
And, yeah, but she just, she sometimes uses that one, but she prints stuff on hers. So those people that require private copiers are the only ones that have them. And most of them aren't color copiers
Do we,
anymore.
sell copies to people? In other words, if I wanted to come in
Yes.
and
Yes,
have some copies made.
For faxes and copies, yeah, they charge
anybody,
you.
anybody that wants anything from the real estate or anything else, there's prices for that.
Mhm.
we do charge for that.
$25 for a resale certificate.
Okay, I just was, curious.
We do.
And we did, right, like, look at cost projections of putting individual desk copiers in. 'Cause, I mean, I don't know what the need is up there, I have not worked in the front office, because that's not the board's job, but $6,000 a year is a tremendous
Yes.
cost for copying when you can buy a desktop, a good desktop one for $500 and spend $120 a year on toners for it. I mean, it's,
Well, that's fine, we just keep going where we are, but we're doing it now for 2 more years.
The problem is that we do high volume copying, you can't do those on desk copiers.
You know, like the coupons that we send once a year, they're set up for that paper. And I know what you're saying, you can probably have someone's desktop do that. But then you also have your common property or your special assessment each year, and then you also have the election. There's gonna be a lot of ballots and stuff coming. And now with this new bylaws that passed, there's an election every year, so there's not gonna be an off point. So there's gonna be some mass
So we do
printing.
Yes, and that's approximately 1,700 pieces of paper for the ballot.
Once a year.
1,700 more pieces of paper for the pamphlet and any other things that go in there. So we do a lot of high volume copying. So, and we do have a need for occasional
I'm not
color
trying to reinvent the wheel.
No,
I'm just
no.
trying to.
And
this
and
is
each new
where we
member
are.
gets a new set of declarations, bylaws, rules and regs. I mean, there's the new
There's a
members
lot of
packet,
copying.
new member
I get
packet's
it,
pretty
and
long.
I'm not trying to talk you out of it, because it's your house, I'm just asking the question,
Yeah,
since
it's just-
Sure.
we have to take care of the money.
We just have a lot of downtime, and this is what happened with the first contract I looked at, that I would not go with it, because I didn't think it benefited us in any way, because it wasn't a better machine or anything else like that. But we are in a contract, and we still have 2 more years to go, no matter what. So therefore, okay, are we gonna make that switch? Do we have the people that can take this over if we're gonna have a contract?
So there, it is still through 2022 then?
Into 2022, I think, yeah. So it's a year and a half.
So, because basically you have to have it for 5 years.
Right.
But if you roll over, then you're stuck in it again, there's not,
right.
oh, okay, so then we have to, okay.
If you renew a contract with them, it's for another 5 years.
That's, like we said, mostly buying.
But since we're
service.
sticking with their stuff, they're not gonna, they're not charging us for getting out of, with these machines, okay.
No, it's just roll up, it's a rollover of a contract.
Right, they pick up the old machines, they deliver
This
the
is
new
how they
machines.
keep you in their fold
Yeah.
from going somewhere
Well, and
else.
that's not necessarily bad, because I did call them, and they did have a track record of what we're using and not using, I mean, they
Oh,
can,
yeah.
yeah, so it was kinda nice when I called to do some research, and,
And that's when you, and that was it, the research is already done. It was just a matter of, I didn't think they were giving us good enough equipment to make the switch. Now they've changed the equipment.
Good deal.
Any other comments from the directors? From the members? There's one.
So,
Please identify yourself.
Suzanne Main, so I guess the one comment is, so you are gonna default to black and white and not
No,
color? I mean, is
definitely,
that
yes.
like a practice that y'all have?
Mhm.
And
Well,
do
I
you-
didn't even realize that the day I watched it.
And then do we do anything about minimizing how much paper we actually do use print? I mean, is that worth thinking about, and does anybody care about that?
Nope.
So
Well,
you
everything we
try to
have
do more
is
electronic
online.
and less printing?
Yeah, all of our CCRs, everything else is all published online. So if anybody wants that, they can get that themselves on their own computers. So therefore, you've already minimized handing out any CCRs, bylaws, anything like that.
well, for realtors, we do have to track, we have, but they do pay, they pay
Yeah.
$25 for getting everything.
And then
Stan got me on that.
if we have known periodic big print jobs we have to do, have we ever thought about or looked into, having a copy company do that for us?
Yes, it's a lot more expensive because you're paying labor, time plus materials.
Okay.
And we have the invoices from the last couple of years where they were printing out
Yeah,
to show
that was
that.
already done before I came, as far as.
And to her point about minimizing paper, several months ago, we approved the new website design and all that.
Mhm.
It may be worth looking into to get a opt-in for electronic billing, because Tammy and I shred our invoices when they come
That's
in. We
what
just
I'm-
come up here and pay them, and
I've got a presentation tomorrow with a company, they're working on HOA software that will be able to do that.
beautiful.
Yeah, we do try and track our paper, but there are certain things you just need paid. Every business is gonna use.
I'm just
Newspaper.
asking the question.
Yeah.
And when we have, I know we're not gonna have it this year, but when we have work clerk days, when we work with community council, they don't have, some things do need to have color for presentation and stuff, and so he'll work, and if there's gonna be some fees, that we can work together with him, but it is a necessity for some of our things, that it looks presentable.
We're basically a $2 million company and we need stuff like that. Any other comments from Mr. Ebert?
Oh, just a thought, I remember when I was involved in the golf tournaments, we used to do a lot of mail law soliciting, and a lot of this was done by the individual members, but it would be nice for the golf people to come down here and pay those monies to the fort and use their equipment. And in a lot of cases, maybe even their mailing lists. We just need some coordination to try and tie some of that stuff together. Because a lot of the monies that we collect are for the sign out here, the advertising. A lot of times that'll generate $5,000 to $6,000 to $7,000 on an annualized basis.
Well, we've been doing the big printing, big mailings for the big golf
Oh.
tournaments. Because most people don't have the capacity on their home printers to print
Oh, you don't pass
1,700
away.
pieces of paper, so, yeah. Okay, any other comments? Okay, can we have a motion, please? Looks like you're up.
I move to approve Jim's proposal as is.
I second.
Okay, all those in favor? And that would be all four with one absent. Okay, onward. Last item. Okay, this is considering approval of bylaw changes. After, was submitted to us with multiple changes. After a couple of workshops that were open, nobody came, but they were open. Well, some people came. One or two.
That's true.
We ended up with actually they recommending one change. Some of the changes they recommended were contrary to good policy, some were a little bit outside of state law, and some were just repetitious. So we agreed they submitted one change. However, in my reading of it, and we'll get everybody's opinion on this, the change was not as originally discussed. The bylaws may be amended, this is Article 8, amendments. Amendments to the bylaws, this is the original wording, may be amended at any regular meeting of the Board of Directors by a majority vote of the directors, the proposed amendment having been submitted in writing. Their recommended change reads, may be amended by a vote of 67% of the total votes allocated to property owners entitled to vote on the amendment of the bylaws. Amendments to reflect changes in Title II, Chapter 209 of the Texas Property Code, related Texas law, and federal law may be made at any regular meeting of the Board of Directors by a majority vote of the directors, the proposed amendments having been submitted in writing. They also add to the bylaws and amendments shall be filed with the District Court, Kinney County, this phrase, no later than 10 business days after the annual election or the regular meeting of the Board of Directors, which just puts the pressure on us to get it over to the county. This doesn't read quite like it was discussed. It was originally discussed, it would read something to the effect of 67% of the votes cast. We do not allocate votes to property owners. They automatically have the right to vote,
Well, if,
property
when
owners.
you plug
Well,
in.
I'm gonna go right
when you
down.
plug into the,
I'm gonna go right on down there in just a second. So anyway, that's a little bit different wording than we had discussed at the workshops. But we're gonna put it on the line again. Excuse me, Dustin.
Okay, I was not able to make the last workshop for this. I made the first one, and this was probably my biggest sticking point in this whole thing is this change right here. So, I don't know if there is confusion about which of our governing documents serve which purpose. So, this board, for this association, just like state legislatures and the national legislature, is the governing body. We're governed by documents on how things are done. So our declarations are analogous in this association to the Constitution of the state or the US. The bylaws are the rules by which we operate the association. No, this amendment, as it's proposed right here, completely strips the ability of the board of directors to make any changes